Welcome to Golden Ogre's Final Fantasy Beginner's Guide Chapter 7. In the previous chapter we defeated Kraken, which leaves us with one more fiend. With the slab in our hands, we need to find Dr. Une and talk to the Leftfinish to sort out all of our clues we learned from the previous areas. At this point in the game, your level could be anywhere from 16 to 24 depending on your playstyle. Later in this video I'll give you some of the techniques I've used in the past to level grind. Let's get the ball rolling by heading back to Meltman. Head to the northeast of the town near the graveyard to find Dr. Une. With the slab, he'll teach you Lefin, and within seconds you'll have just completely mastered the ancient language. Amazing. If you haven't purchased the magic on a previous visit, make sure you have 120,000 gold so you don't have to make another trip down there. We visited Lefin earlier, but as a reminder, land in a grassy spot just east of the desert and make the long walk down to the end of the peninsula. Greeting you at the entrance, we find out information about Sky Warriors, the original owners of our airship. This guy speaks of a legend where warriors with orbs would appear and save the people. Yep, I don't see any other warriors walking around with orbs. This guy is convinced we are the Light Warriors. Looks like 400 years ago something happened and they lost control of the wind, and that there's a castle in the sky. So there's definitely a floating castle. We also know we have the cube that will transfer us there, so we just need to find out where the transporter is. This guy talks about robots created by his ancestors. We saw one out at the waterfall, so it sounds like they're still kicking around. Alright, so it looks like the Mirage Tower leads to the floating castle. We know the Leftfinish used magic to enter it, we just don't know how yet. So 5 warriors went to find the source of the world's decay, but have somehow been turned into bats. Now we actually saw these bats. This is the clue to where the source of destruction is coming from. Do you remember where? If not, no worries, we'll find out later. This guy tells us that our fiends are being controlled by a greater power, another hint involving the 5 bats. Looks like the power of wind has been taken by Tiamat. I often pronounce it Tiamat because that's how I used to say it as a 9-year-old kid, so if I slip up, it's just an old habit coming back. So it looks like they fought Tiamat, lost the battle, and now he's in a floating castle living the good life. Finally, this guy hands over the chime. We can access the tower now. Looks like we're pretty much ready to go now. We just need to purchase some magic before we do. Head to the east and find the shops. The white magic shop contains Life 2, which revives one ally to full health. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in battle either. There's actually no way to revive during a battle in this game. When getting deep into the final dungeons, it might be more cost effective to let a character die and use Life 2 instead of using Life and Potions, since that spell revives at only 1 HP. Nuke is a beast spell. Think of it as Fire 4. It does anywhere between 100 and 400 damage depending on your level, which is great for doing damage against bosses or when you're afraid to run from a losing battle. If you're level 21 like I am at this point, you still can't cast level 8 magic. The Mirage Tower and the floating castle are considered one complete dungeon. There's amazing treasure you don't want to miss out on, so don't be afraid to cast exit just to save, stock back up on potions, and return. Nothing worse than spending 20 minutes gathering treasure only to die and have to do it all over again. If you're feeling like you're underprepared or underleveled, now might be the good time to level grind a bit. Keep in mind that I beat this game at the age of 10 at level 26 with 2 knights paired with the black and white wizards. The max level you can reach is 50, but that's just overkill. Let's head to the Mirage Tower. My team is currently level 28 as a reference. The first floor has easy access to the chest in the middle. Walking to the left and around, snag the cabin on the way in. The Aegis Shield is identical to the Opal Shield except it prevents poison, break, and stone spells. Opal and Dragon Armor offers resistance to lightning, so swap out the shields assuming the right armor is equipped. Your knight will thank you. The Vorpal was intended to have high critical rate, but the stat is bugged, making the weapon useless. The Knight, Ninja, and Red Wizard can equip it. The spare heal helmet is great, treat it like magic. We saw the stairs to the next floor, but you might as well leave, save your game, and then come back. On the next floor, you'll have to walk counterclockwise. You'll see the stairs, but don't neglect the treasure that's at the center of the room. There are 10 chests to grab. The left side has another Thor hammer, which casts lightning too, and the other have plenty of gold. To the right, you'll find a house, some gold, and a sun sword, and dragon armor. The Sun Sword is the first sword that's better than the Ice Sword, though probably still swinging. The Ninja and Red Wizard can also equip this, so if you have them in your party, you'll be able to hand it down to them at some point. If you already have Dragon Armor, you might want to just leave it behind if you're out of space, assuming you don't have more than one knight. You shouldn't need to keep things just to sell them at this point in the game. Now you can make your way out and up and talk to the robot and take the stairs. If you made it this far without following the clues to the waterfall, this robot will tell you that one of his kind has the cube and landed off to the west. Luckily we're one step ahead, so let's hit the stairs. This floor has a room and the first step after the door is a deadly encounter with the blue dragon. With 454 HP it can cast thunder, which can do a ton of damage. Casting anti-lightning is helpful if you can get it off in time. Don't bother using magic on the dragon, just cast fast on your fighter and it'll be over soon. With the cube, we're ready to go to the floating castle. The first floor has a room west, south, and east, with the exit located at the north. I'm choosing west first. There are 4 chests holding a heal potion and gold. None of this is necessary, so feel free to skip this room. The south room has the Bane sword. It's a weak weapon for the knight, ninja, or red wizard, but you can cast Bane, which can be fairly effective, especially with large groups. Supposedly, Tiamat can be defeated using Bane, but is no guarantee. You could give it to your white mage to use your black belt to cast on Tiamat for 1 turn, since he can't do much damage until fast is used on him. The room to the east has 5 chests. One of them is the Pro Ring, which you should need. Then there's another heal helmet. You should now have 3 items that cast heal for free. I get that it doesn't do much, but neither does a single heal potion. If you don't want to run out of heals, these items are the best solution, even if it takes away from an attack. Make your way north and teleport to the next floor. I call this the compass room. There are rooms in every direction with valuable items. To the northwest room is a silver helmet and a house, while the northeast room has an opal gauntlet. You shouldn't need any of this, so skip them. Heading to the east room has the 3rd ribbon in the game and an opal shield. The ribbon is a must, but you shouldn't need the shield. Walk down to the southeast room to pick up the white and black shirts. White casts invisibility 2 and black shirt casts ice 2. If you have a black and white wizard, have them equip them. Now they aren't as good as the opal bracelet and are the same as the gold bracelet, so if you have extra room for these, you don't have to equip it at all. I usually do just because the space is limited. The exit is south, so skip that and walk to the southwest chest. You'll find the adamant. This was the item we needed to create our legendary sword. I used the fast track to the adamant just to get the sword and then come back to finish the castle, but since we're close to the end, let's just continue. The room to the west is just gold. Again, you shouldn't need it, so just go south to the next floor. Speak to the robot and he says to look through the window. Looking through it, it'll reveal that 4 elemental forces are forming together, directly over the Temple of Fiends. This was the temple where we defeated Garland. We're going to visit that temple once we finish off Tiamat. For now, let's head right. There's a room full of treasure. Most of it's gold, but there is a pro cape, which is a shield anyone can equip, except for black belts in Masterclass. With an absorb of 8, try and make room on one of your mages to equip it. It's worth the extra defense. There's a room to the north with some gold and a pro ring. You should already be stocked, so the room could be ignored. To the west is a room with more gold, but there's also a katana. If you have a ninja, it's the best weapon he can equip. It's supposed to be better than intended, but again, the critical hit bug ruined that. Without a ninja, there's no need to go to that room, so just exit near the southeast. This room is huge and wraps around from all directions. You could just go to the intersection up or down, then 2 to the right, or alternate down and right. You'll know it's correct if the transport shape points up and not down like the one we entered the room from. Here's the last floor. Before you take one step, heal up. This is the infamous Warmec Bridge. You have a 3 in 64 chance of meeting this enemy, so it's pretty rare, but don't let that make you feel comfortable. Warmec is probably the toughest enemy in the entire game, including the final boss. With 1000 HP and the ability to nuke your entire team off the bridge, you'll need to treat him like the final boss if you want to survive. Because I want to be your favorite YouTuber, I made sure I found him. His attacks alone can hit for over 200. I use anti-fire because he can rock you with nuke. Use fast on your knight and secondary attacker as soon as possible and have your white mage keep everyone alive, or at least attempt to. I got a little lucky since he never used a nuke, which could have wiped me out. Luckily I can cast Life for Life too and continue on. Walk up to the orb and activate Tiamat. This battle is straightforward and not nearly as scary as Warmec. Fast method first as usual, he uses Thunder Blaze and Poison. Most of his damage will come from physical attacks, so there's little threat of dying. You can try casting Bane or Break for a small chance to instant kill her, but it's not necessary and I've never actually done it before defeating the Fiend. You'll notice how devastating the Black Belt becomes as a master at high levels. It's insane, but not guaranteed. With the last Fiend destroyed, walk to the throne and revive the last orb. We finally did it. All 4 Fiends are destroyed. We know that they were being controlled by a greater power, and the Temple of Fiends has something to do with it. Exit out of here and save your game. Okay, first things first, we need to visit the blacksmith who wants the adamant we found earlier. The cave is located where we dropped off the TNT and blew up the canal earlier in the game. Walk inside and head to the top left room and speak to the blacksmith. Within seconds, he'll create the second best sword in the game, Excalibur. Only a knight can equip this sword, but it's a beast. It's the main reason I always include a fighter in my party. At this point, we only have one thing left to do, beat the game. You might be wondering what level is best. The thing is, the only reason I level up past 26 is just for the level 8 magic. At level 29, I think you can only get 2 casts of level 8 magic, and that's just unfortunate. When I've leveled to 35 or higher, it's because I want more magic casts. My level 29 Black Mage has less than 300 HP, so there's a solid chance he'll die on the journey. The boss battles in this game are too easy. The real challenge is making it to them, and the final dungeon is no exception. Buy everything you need, level up to your heart's content, and head to the Temple of Fiends. I usually hit the inn located in Corneria and then use the tent next to the temple. Also, you need to have the loot. Princess Sarah gave it to us after we defeated Garland, so if you don't have it, you forgot to talk to her at the castle. Step inside and walk to Garland's room. Notice the 5 bats? Instead of saying key key, they now talk. The Levenish told us how 5 of their warriors were turned into bats. They tell you that if you cover the black orb with the 4 shining orbs that we can use to time gate where the 4 fiends originated over 200 years ago. We can confirm now that these guys were the Sky Warriors but clearly lost their battle. There's no time like now. Activate the time gate and let's travel 2,000 years in the past to make things right. Now there are 3 floors to navigate, then you'll find 5 final floors, each representing the 4 fiends and the final boss. Starting at the first floor, you need to go to the bottom right. The top 2 stairs are blocked off and the bottom left leads you to the earth floor, but it's a dead end. On this floor you'll fight strong groups of dragons, so hit them hard and fast or run away. Take the stairs to the next floor and just head right. Now located at the top left of the floor, make your way to the center room. One step past the door is the Phantom encounter. Similar to the Eye, he shouldn't pose much of a threat. Don't bother wasting magic on this battle. The 2 chests hold gold, but there's no reason to pick them up. Just head to the throne up ahead. Press A at the plate, you sense something evil. Well, you can't use the rod, instead you use the loot to remove the plate. Now we're back on the second floor but in the center. We need to take the exit at the top left of the floor. This takes us down to floor 1, but now we're in that area we couldn't reach. We just need to walk to the left to find the exit. Once you take the stairs, we're finally on the earth floor. You need to walk the perimeter to find the exit. The enemies will reflect the earth elements, so if you need help, fire is your friend, especially using the mage staff to conserve magic points. Make sure to periodically use the heal helmet or staff to recoup a few health points along the way. Before you walk into the stairs, prepare for another battle with Lich. He'll be a little bit stronger than before with an extra 100 HP for a total of 500. He's a total pushover, but if he casts Nuke, it can still do some serious damage to you if you don't end it quickly. Still, you probably don't need to cast fast since 2 attacks from your heavy hitters should handle him. After the battle, take the stairs and you'll find yourself on the fire floor. Luckily, there's no lava, just enemies related to it. You can actually see the exit from the start, but there are treasures on this floor. You'll need to walk up into the giant room, take the right, and then go down. The entrance of the stairs has the carry and counter. Walking down past carry, the left room gives you a pro ring and leads you to another chest holding a katana. If you have a ninja and you already have the other katana, you won't need to bother unless you have 2 ninjas, but I highly doubt it. Taking the right room gives you a pro cape and leads you to a chest with 26,000 gold. It's up to you, but you can't spend your money unless you cast exit, so there's no need to make the journey. Now head to the battle with carry and handle it. Every fiend is a little stronger and has an additional 100 HP, so she now has 700 HP. Nothing to worry about, she'll drop without much effort. Taking the stair leads to the seafloor. Starting at the top left, your exit is the bottom right. Kraken is located halfway through the hallway, so heal up before you enter it so you're not surprised. As usual, Kraken is no challenge. With 900 HP, you might want to cast fast to speed things up. Just make sure you save enough for the last 2 battles. Now on the wind floor, Tiamat is located in the small area between the 2 top sections, but we're not going there yet. We need to make the long walk to the bottom right and pick up the Mazmoon, the strongest weapon in the game. It can be equipped by any class, including the ones we started the game with. Depending on the party, you might not give it to your strongest character. The knight has Excalibur. The master punches for days, so you might want to hand it off to someone else. When I create my party for a new game, I often think about this part of the game and choose my party accordingly. Either way, you'll want this sword. Now head back and prepare for Tiamat. He will have 1100 HP, so don't be afraid to cast fast and end this in 2 or 3 rounds. Walk over to the right and find the stairs to the final floor. You made it. This floor doesn't have any enemies, but if you're playing a remake, that won't be the case. Walk around and begin your conversation with a familiar face, Garland. Now, trying to understand the logic behind the whole time loop story is not an easy task. Supposedly, the Fiends of the present decided to send Garland back 2,000 years. Then he somehow sends the 4 Fiends to the future. Doing that, they can send him back in an infinite time loop or something. In another 2,000 years, he'll be forgotten and the time loop closes or something. Well, I don't know about all that business, but when in doubt, kill the guy. Here we go, it's time to battle Chaos. With 2000 HP, this battle can go 2 ways. If you're over leveled and fully equipped, just cast fast on your 2 strongest guys, use wall on your fighter or mage, and just have at it with nuke and fade with your wizards if you don't need to heal yet. With any luck, you'll get a critical hit or 2 and 2000 HP will disappear quickly. Chaos can cast slow too, which makes you have less hits even with fast. Not only that, he can also use Ice, Fire, and Lightning 3 spells. On top of that, he can use Fast on himself too. Nuke is also in his arsenal. He has other spells like Crack, Inferno, Swirl, and Tornado that will do a ton of damage. If you let the battle last too long, he'll cast Cure 4, which fully heals him. This rarely happens unless you don't get a chance to use Fast on anyone early. Later versions of this game put him at 4000 HP, which is considerably harder. But this is the original in all its glory. Finish him off and enjoy the final ending. We've come a long way, but we've finally broken the time loop. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did creating it. I truly appreciate everyone who took the time to watch and hope I earned you as a follower. I'm unsure what project I want to do next, but I would love some ideas. In the meantime, I encourage you to check out my NES Revisited playlist. It's a fun series if you're into NES games. In addition, I have completed playthroughs for Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster 1, 2, and 3, and probably more in the future. So thanks for watching, I appreciate you all, until the next time.